Happy 4th of July here in the United States of America. I'm Mike Naso with the latest tropical update on Tropical Storm Elsa. Elsa is a very tricky storm to forecast, and it's not organized in the way a typical tropical storm is, and I'll tell you why in just a second. Here's the latest as of 11 a.m. Eastern Time from the Hurricane Center. Elsa was at 18.7 north, 76.8 west. Winds were 60 miles per hour, moving west-northwest at 13, drastically slower than 36 hours ago. Remember when it was racing at 30 miles an hour? 13 is quite a slowdown. And you can see the forecast track brings it right into Cuba by tomorrow morning, Monday morning, right across by Monday night, and then by Tuesday morning, very near the Florida Keys, and then sometime Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, making landfall on the west coast of Florida. Where, when, and how strong is yet to be determined. We do have some tropical storm watches and warnings out. I wanted to go down the list here for you. A tropical storm warning for Cuban areas of Cuba right along the coastline there, as well as areas of Havana inland. Jamaica, you guys are under the tropical storm warning. You've been getting lashed with heavy, heavy rain and gusty winds, as well as high seas. We also have a tropical storm warning for the Florida Keys from Craig Key all the way out to the Dry Tortugas. That includes areas like Big Pine Key, Key West, and all that. We have a hurricane watch also for the coastline of Cuba, with the possibility that Elsa does become a hurricane again on its way towards Cuba. Again, if it continues that track, that would be threading the needle between Jamaica and Cuba, and then over water. Those are some hot, deep waters here south of Cuba, so we're going to watch that very, very carefully. I should also note we have a tropical storm watch for Cayman, Brac, and Little Cayman in the Cayman Islands, as well as some of the Florida Keys from east of Craig Key to Ocean Reef, including Florida Bay, and the southwest coast of Florida from Flamingo to Bonita Beach. You guys are now under that tropical storm watch. So again, you can see the line of attack here is in that general area over the next 24 to 36 hours. Here's the visible satellite imagery of Elsa, and it looks better organized. I mean, I've been impressed with it the last 12 to 18 hours. However, the hurricane hunters, the Air Force flying out there, they've had some problems. The pressure is ridiculously high for even a moderate tropical storm. It's more like a tropical depression type of pressure, and it has been having trouble becoming vertically stacked. That is all in order and rising up into the atmosphere, a classic closed low-level circulation at the surface to begin strengthening into a hurricane again. Instead, it's kind of tilted, and it's just not having the best of time organizing itself. However, if it continues to thread the needle like this and moves over open water, it could have a good 12, 18, 24 hours over warm water to intensify, especially since it slowed down. If it was still moving at 30 miles per hour, forget about it. But it slowed down enough now to where it can kind of stack itself better, we think. But still, convection blowing up over the island of Jamaica, that is causing heavy, heavy rainfall, so you guys need to watch that very carefully. But we did have an explosion of thunderstorms last night, and that could have been almost a mid-level center. So, you know, hurricanes are at the surface, obviously. Sometimes systems get cranked up at the mid-levels of the atmosphere, so you need to wait to see if that gets down to the surface, and if it does, then we'd see strengthening. Here's the Cuban radar from Eric Dunn, a hurricane tracking buddy of mine. He put this in motion faster, and you could kind of see right there what looks to be an organizing center, and if that is the center, and it stays over water, that could miss Cuba. Cabo Cruz in Cuba is right about there. Let me circle it here in red. Right about here is where Cabo Cruz is, and there's some high peaks. Hurricane Dennis passed over that back in '05 as a Category 4 hurricane. This is a tropical storm, but it looks like it might pass over or just south. And if it remains south over these waters here south of Cuba, it could continue to organize until it makes landfall. Here's the computer model guidance. You could see most of them, they're clustered tightly, but not really. I mean, if you're talking about threading the needle, you got one model that's, you know, the hurricane model, which takes it farther here to the south, and then you've got another model which takes it farther to the north. That's not a lot of spread, but that's the difference between being caught up over Cuba for 24 hours and staying over water 24 hours and crossing minuscule areas of Cuba. And that's a big difference down the road with intensity. The hurricane center now appears to be on the right-hand side of the models. They were on the left-hand side yesterday, bringing it into the Tampa area or somewhere there on the west coast. Remember, it might be lopsided, so a lot of the wet weather will be on the right side. Nevertheless, some of the other models taking it closer to the Big Bend or the Panhandle. So it's still uncertain after Cuba where exactly Elsa will go. That H-Wharf model we were watching showing Elsa becoming a strong hurricane the other day, it initializes it right now not where it is at all. It initializes it between Jamaica and Haiti. We know the system's up here between Cuba and Jamaica, and you can see it takes it right over areas of eastern Cuba in, 12 hours? This system would have to drastically pull north-northwest and stop its current motion to take that track that the H-Wharf model is showing. And then you see it gets caught up to the point to where it's still over Cuba 2 days from now. I don't know how accurate that would be. That takes a track something like that all over Cuba. That would be fatal for its prospects as a tropical cyclone, and it would be a lot of flooding rains for Cuba. So again, we're going to watch it carefully. Nothing on the Florida radar right now except from that troughiness to the north causing scattered showers there over areas of the Big Bend and North Florida. South Florida looks like a pretty nice 4th of July day right now, although you guys are getting ready because here's the projected path from the hurricane center of Elsa coming over the next 2 to 3 days. So in the final analysis on this 4th of July, Tropical Storm Elsa looking a little interesting there. It's getting that shape to it. If it does tighten up a circulation center over these waters and remain over water, it could become a hurricane once again. We don't know exactly if the track's going to be more like that or if the track's going to be more like that. Big difference as far as future track and intensity is concerned. Everybody in the watch and warning area from Jamaica, the entire area here of Cuba, the Florida Keys, the west coast of Florida, even the Panhandle, you guys need to be overlooking your hurricane plans as Elsa approaches. I'm Mike Nasel with the latest on Tropical Storm Elsa. Please subscribe to these YouTube page and continue to watch these updates as Elsa continues to bear down on Jamaica and Cuba.